Well, so much has been lost over this past year and a half of the pandemic. Many people have lost their friends and family, some lost their jobs, and also time with those they love the most.
So when someone gets something back, that is certainly something that we all would like to celebrate. Caitlin Ross bringing us the story of the extraordinary lengths one man went to get back something he'd lost.
This was a model of Krog Street's tunnel.
An architecture fellowship.
This idea for maybe an undulating ceiling
brought Davis Buntner
for a ferry terminal
to China in 2019.
Waiting room for the ferry. I knew how to say hello and thank you, and how to order a Coca-Cola. That was about it.
Well, his love of the job won him the opportunity. It was his love of music that he thought would make the journey worth it.
In spite of not really knowing the language of Mandarin before launching myself out there, I could at least communicate through music.
His fellowship would take him to China for 2 years. And he knew he wanted to have his viola with him.
The choice to just have one object of familiarity with me, I was at least able to, pick up something familiar and have a skill that I could, bring to the table.
A classically trained musician, Davis quickly picked up gigs in Shanghai.
I was sort of sought out as the foreign violist in the city.
While he was immersed in his experience in the city, his friends and family in the States started worrying about COVID-19.
The first tip-off for me was actually a text from a friend in the States asking if I'd heard of this, I think it was early December, heard of this report of a virus in Wuhan.
He says he hadn't heard anything about COVID until he got the news that Wuhan, a city the size of the state of Georgia, went into lockdown at the end of 2019.
That was when I think panic set in.
During the Lunar New Year celebration in China, Davis says it became clear he would have to leave.
With so little time to pack, I would keep most everything locked in the little 10 by 10 meter apartment I had.
He locked his viola inside and left.
If anything, it was something that would tie me back to China. I figured I'd always have a token I can come back and get in a market space for the community.
At first, he thought he would just be gone a few weeks, but as the days stretched into months, he realized he couldn't go back, and his viola was locked away. He couldn't even get a spare key sent back to China.
I ended up trying to get it copied at 3 different locksmiths in Atlanta, all of whom said that this technology is not what they use in the States, and so had to ship it back to Beijing, where a contact of mine in Beijing was able to get it copied there and ship it to a colleague of mine at work in Shanghai.
He searched for months to find someone leaving China who could take his viola with them.
I could pay them to hand carry the instrument, and I would be willing to meet them at any airport in the States to get it back. We were tasked with
After striking out with the embassy, co-workers, and connections, Davis finally found a friend from high school whose parents had stayed in Shanghai through the pandemic.
They made the decision to finally come back to the States, and so we're able to hand carry the instrument back with them straight to Hartsfield Airport. So I met them there, and it was a really emotional moment.
20 months later, a year and a half, his viola is still in tune, in perfect condition. Its music a memory of everywhere he's been.
Reminded me of the power of making that decision to bring this to that experience and to use music as a way to connect with people.
Davis says he would love to get back to China one day with his viola, of course.
I don't know if I'd be taking that anywhere. I'd be leaving it wherever I am.
Leave it locked in there from now on.
My goodness.
Such a remarkable story. Can you explain his attachment to this viola?
Well, it was so important to him to connect with people through music. So being able to take that viola and go play, meet new friends, really feel like he was immersing himself in this experience. It was important to him. He felt like it was that key to getting into this new culture.
Wow, incredible, and very, very thankful that he looked up and found that high school friend to bring it back.
Incredible. He was finally able to get it back. 20 months later, this thing was locked up.
Yeah, an incredible talent there. Caitlin, thank you so much.